Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So this time we're gonna check out my personal top 10 picks of the Wonder Festival event. And I just want to kind of remind everyone that you can kind of go to the website in Miami and you can scroll down and you can see all the companies, and you can kind of pick and choose what you like or don't like if you have them. Also, the other website that I use is this one. Links are going to be at the bottom. I want to give a shout out to Ruru Berries for kind of setting it up. But yeah, anyway, so after kind of seeing all of them, I made like 5 videos. Now it's time for me to kind of pick what I'm gonna like buy or not buy, or pre-order and whatnot. So let's get into it. So something that I will say before I start is that out of all the figures that came out, I'm just gonna put ones that actually have like an actual sculpture, because there's a lot of photos, there's a lot of just even software renders. I'm just gonna pick ones that are actually sculpted, you know, that we can actually see to some degree. So obviously I'm just gonna start with an honorable mention. It just didn't make my list, and it's just this one. She's from Pop-Up Parade from Good Smile. Her name is Lime from the anime Saber Marionette. I just thought she was cool. Something that I kind of forced myself to look at different figures, and I don't like to necessarily just collect one specific type. I do kind of like having a little bit of everything, and I thought she was cool. You know, I really like kind of like the oversized clothing that she has, like the giant bead on her head and the giant shoes. I thought they were really cool. I just wanted to mention that as an honorable mention, and kind of give you that. I play a lot of Nikke, and this year it seems to be like a lot of Nikke figures. I think I counted over 16 or 17. They could have easily been my top 10, but I didn't want to do that. Honestly, like I said, I just want to get things that look cool to me. So let's kind of get into it. So for me, number 10 is Anchorage from Azure Lane. Now this one has already come out. This is a figure that is already, like, it already exists. As you can see here on the right, it's made by Apex. So Apex is the one that produces this figure. Now I'm not sure, because obviously just these are just photos that we get, but there seems to be some differences to the one on the right. Obviously the color of the killer whale, the Manju's not kind of being there, or not being there, the one the dress, that the one on the right is like translucent, the one on the left is a little bit more solid, you know. And some of the things, like here on the one on the right, she has accessories, kind of like a chain, you know, or a rope type of thing. She doesn't have the one on the left. So there are clearly some differences being picked. Her hair, obviously the style is different, you know. Over here her hair is kind of going through the back, over her back, and over here it just isn't. Now I don't know if it's just like a special edition, or, you know, or limited or whatever, but honestly to me I actually like the one on the left more. I prefer it. So I really like it. I don't play Azure Lane, but I do like a lot of their characters, and to me she looks pretty cool. There are some elements that I also say that I would like for the one on the right to have on the left. Like I would like the Manju to be over here, but that's about it actually. So yeah, that would be my number 10. For my number 9 is from the company QuestQ, and she is Hanekawa Tsubasa from the series Bakemonogatari. Now I never seen it, don't know who she is, but I thought she was pretty cool. I like that she is different in almost a lot of senses. Like the base is really different. I like the whole bone pile thing going on, and I especially like kind of the pole with the lanterns, that they're all broken. Like there's something going on, and that's kind of what I like, because I don't know the character, right? So to me it's like, well, it looks like she's clearly been in a fight. She looks dangerous to some degree, kind of like you know, be careful. The broken lanterns, there's some stuff going on, and I can't wait to see her painted. I have no idea what the colors are gonna be, but it looks very interesting, and I kind of like that. That's why I mentioned in the beginning that sometimes I like figures just because of kind of how they look, kind of when like if someone comes by and they see it, they kind of just don't see like, oh yeah, it's just girl with big boobs, whatever, or oh yeah, Goku, you know, throwing a Kamehameha. So this is like kind of gives you like, well, what is that? Like, and that's kind of what it made me think, like, what is that? What's going on here? And she's really cool. Now I do want to see how much, like, the price, because sometimes 1/7 figures, which obviously should be, no, I wouldn't say cheap by nature, but cheaper than 1/6 and 1/4 definitely. But sometimes the accessories and the base and whatnot can really push the price, and that's okay if it's worth it. So this one I will really need to see the price before I commit. Now moving on to the next one, let's see what we have here. It is this one. So it's from the same company, Quest Q. It's also 1/7 and it's Shinkan Shibuna. Now I do have a little comparison here for her, which is this one from the False Lander Hemet Nethel 1/7. She's released and on Ami. I was gonna get this figure some time ago because I really like the Egyptian theme, so I thought about getting her. I was really close to buying her, and the one thing that, you know, after speaking with my partner, I kind of told, you know, the ears, you know, we kind of had an issue with the ears. I kind of had an issue with the hair. I was like, I was not convinced. Like, I really like her, but I was not fully convinced. But this one on the left, I think, really captures more to me the Egyptian theme. I think she looks just way cooler. I would like to see more photos of her, but this is pretty much what they have. But I think she looks really cool, and I have seen other ones, but I gotta see more details. But I'll be definitely on the lookout. Honestly, for me, I think it's a guaranteed pre-order. So let's keep on moving on. So for the next figure is, I can tell it's an Azure lane because of the guns, but I don't know who she is. But regardless of who she is, like I mentioned before, is I just like how it looks. Obviously I don't know the paint. The paint definitely is a huge factor for me, not just the colors but the finish and all that. And I can tell that this is like, I've seen this type of figures before like this, because they kind of have the character with like the weapons around her, and I always thought they were very neat. Like, it was a very cool way to represent the character in a figure format. And sometimes I seen them that they kind of have like a backpack with like the gun on it, or the girl's holding the gun itself. But I think it's more like a classic look where you get a little bit of both worlds. You get the character and the ship representation. And there's so much stuff going on here, like from the dress specifically, all the, it looks like to be roses, or, you know, some sort of flowers, and kind of like the grid pattern that she has going on. You know, the tail on the back looks wonderful. The guns themselves look great. I really like this design. I don't know if I'm sure that this base is just temporary. I appreciate the metal studs. Hopefully they keep them. But it looks great, and if they do kind of have like this, it'll be nice that maybe you can even kind of turn them to a certain way. I don't know if they're kind of just that way. It'd be nice if you can kind of turn them and position them, just because it is going to occupy, it does look like it's going to occupy a huge chunk in your cabinet or whatever. So it's kind of nice to have a little bit of flexibility when changing. But I gotta say, again, gotta see kind of the price, and we'd like to see kind of more picture on the back, from the side. But that's what we got. Moving on, we have this from Aniplex 1/7, Morgan Le Fay from Fate Grand Order. And I don't know, I haven't played the game, but obviously I kind of did a Google search on her. What I saw was that she the color is crazy cool. Like, I really like the black and like this light blue. And I don't know if, like, in a lot of the photos she has this crown, and I don't know if this is this is representing that, just like a way bigger version, like a giant crown. And if this colors, it's gonna be really cool looking. Like, I can already think of like backgrounds to put behind a cabinet, and kind of like a whole setting where she's gonna really stand out. But we gotta see more. And also, it looks to be just a big figure, just a giant figure. I don't know if even the top of the crown might make her 1/6 at that point. And so she's really cool. She's like, I'm gonna check her out like after, like in the game. I'll try to look for her. But you know, the dress, the hair, I'm a really big fan of just this giant overflowing hair. Maybe because I don't have hair. It's really cool. I think it'll stand out, kind of like a piece. Oh, I can kind of see like a mantle piece. But moving on, we have, oh, I think this is the, yeah, these are some like spring toys, which as you can see here, there's no company to it. I think just everybody's just making them. And I had seen this because I had pre-ordered one myself, which was this one. I don't play Honkai, but I just thought it was really adorable. Like I kind of pictured it having it in the car and just kind of having it there, and that's what, you know, it's just really adorable. So when I saw some of them with characters that I like, I was like, oh, I totally want them. Like you see here is Anchorage. Don't know who they are, and I think it's Shinano from Azure Lane, and they have that one and that one. But I thought they were very cute. It's very nice to see kind of little things, you know. Sometimes I tell you know, friends and family members that not everybody has, you know, $200-300 to blow on one of their favorite characters or whatever, and things like this are really cool to have, like little choices, or sometimes even the space for that matter. Sometimes you don't have the space, so little characters like this, you know, that's what you can fit in. So it's really cool. So we reached number 4, my number 4, and I have Cheshire the Cat. Now I do have, there you go. So some time ago I pre-ordered this, so this is a pre-order of mine, and don't know the character, but thought it was really cool. And moreover, this is one of those times where you're like, oh, you know, maybe I should have waited, but you'll never know. Honestly, you never know what's around the corner, because you never know. I mean, you just don't know. And in this case, they have announced this one on the left, and it's to me it's a cooler figure. Like, to me it looks better, looks more interesting, but you know, it's kind of a pick your poison. Why? Because maybe you just want the character by itself. Maybe just that's what you want. Maybe your shelf cannot accommodate this. You know, maybe you don't want the whole, you know, for them to waste money on the base, and you prefer a bigger figure like that. Everybody has kind of their own thing. I do prefer you know, the base to be a little bit cool, but you know, that just depends. And I do have to see it color, just because I can kind of imagine obviously the faces of some cards. You know, from the looks of it, she's gonna have the backwards bunny suit. So essentially it's the same, you know, if you kind of think about it, it's the same figure. She's just like leaning with the base. And at the end of the day, also the price, you know, you gotta know what the price is and kind of how it looks. But I really like how she looked. That is my number 4. Now my number 3 is interesting to say the least. She is from the company Fat, and I think she is Barghast or Barghast. I don't know. She's from Fate Grand Order. I just think she looks badass. Something that I mentioned to, like, when I get to talk to some people in the community, is that I think that, you know, a lot of the characters sometimes they kind of share body styles that are, and that's okay. I mean, which are either very tiny or very like, you know, perfect proportions to a degree, or like the girls with extremely gigantic boobs and whatever. But there's that, the thing is that there's a little bit of everything for everybody, right? But what I like about her is that she's like super beefy. Now, one thing I want to mention is I had not seen the picture on the right. When I even made my review, I had only seen her like that, and I really liked it. I was like, wow, this is like a cool, like the things that she had going were really interesting to me. Not just the fact that she was like bulky and it was just like I like the sword and like these things like chains. That were really cool. I was wondering like, what's gonna be the color like. I was kind of having my doubts with like, I hope they don't go like just your fire theme or whatever. And not only that, they kind of, you know, they have even a better theme than I expected. Like these color combination is really cool. I really like it. Really like it. I like the fact that, you know, sometimes in games, like the example I give is Ilaoi from League of Legends, and Ilaoi, for all intents and purposes, you know, let's see, Ilaoi images. For all intents and purposes, like she is like a really, again, like a really just tough big girl. You know, there's like an official photo of her, and I kind of appreciate some of that they have like this giant or really strong girls. Obviously they draw her sometimes different. That's why I always go with like what she looks in the game, and this kind of reminds me of that, like just a different type of character and of kind of position and composition. I hope to see how much it costs. I would like to see more photos of her, obviously, from different angles. I would like to see a different information, like on the colors painted, because sometimes, you know, they're not gonna look how they look here. I can tell you that right off the bat. Sometimes they're not gonna look like how they look in the drawing, you know. But that will be my number 3. Now number 2 is more of a, it's expected for me. I had already seen this figure. It was kind of spoiled to me days before the event, which is fine. And it's Cinderella by Hobby Sakura. Now she is 1/4, so she's enormous. This is an enormous figure. This is, I would say this is a $500 figure maybe when it's all said and done, because it's easily gonna be $300, and I don't know how much shipping is gonna be. This is gonna be a monster. So, and this from the game Nikke, which I have here. Let me take this off. This is, let me get Cinderella right here. So this is Cinderella right here. Let me kind of help her so you can see her. Now, when I kind of go see characters, like I mentioned before, I like characters to look like the characters. I don't like when they change the characters. So here you can kind of tell that maybe she is a little bit thicker than the character, right? It seems to me that way. Like they made her a little bit chunkier. Like just her leg, I think, is where the thing is that in the game you don't really get to see these characters from the side or anything. So I don't know, they maybe look like that. I can tell that they're struggling with the silver, because it is like a hard it is gonna be a hard color to recreate, not gonna lie. Like it's gonna be tough. Like, let me see the shoe now that I see it there. Oh yeah, they did like definitely do a little bit more silver. It is just a tough color to kind of get right, I'm not gonna lie. It's a tough paint job, honestly. When I saw this character, because a lot of people like Cinderella, I was like, oh, this is a tough figure to make into a figure, or a tough character to make into a figure, just because of the color. It's complicated. It's complicated to make it look right. And you can kind of tell that it is hard. I worked on painting cars for numerous years, and I can tell you that the clear coating on the top is gonna be hard to make it even, to make it look, you know, nice and smooth. A lot of sanding, definitely, a lot of finishing. But remember, this is a prototype. This is not a finished product. So, you know, I'm sure that it will evolve into having it look even better, hopefully, at the end of the day. And I'm sure that at some point when we get like kind of, you know, finalized photos, hopefully she does look like that. But that is my number 2. My number 1 kind of got spoiled, but it is that Modernia that you saw in game. So let me kind of go back here. Also from Nikke. This kind of falls into the Burgess character, which is the colors. What I like about the costume a lot is the colors, and there's a lot of variation of the same color. Like there are maybe a couple of different blacks. You know, you have a shiny black from what seems to be like the leather, if it's leather, and then you have a matte black from like the jacket, you could say, and then you have the black from the metal of the weapons themselves. So it's gonna be interesting to kind of navigate all those different tones. Now, something that I don't know if they're gonna do to the figure itself here is where you see kind of the light of the machine, kind of like, or of the weapon, kind of jumping to create the shadow. I don't know if they're gonna be able to recreate that on the figure. I don't know. I seen it done. I seen people paint like the Warhammer things, and they look great, where they kind of do that shadow thing, or other minis that I've seen paint. But I don't know if they're gonna do this, because it is a lot of work, and that's the issue. When you have to make, you know, thousands of them, it's a lot of work. So we'll kind of see what happens. So then from here, the rest is just that. I do appreciate kind of the metal studs. You know, again, I do think that you're gonna be able to kind of move and position them as you like. But to me, this Modernia, obviously, as you can see, you know, pending approval. So we'll see kind of how she looks like later on. This is my this kind of my pick for the number one. And you know, it doesn't have to be the order, just to mention. It doesn't have to be like in a very specific order, but to me this is really cool. So yeah, guys, this was my top 10. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. You know, you can let me know in the comments if you kind of, would you agree or disagree, kind of what are your picks. But these are just mine. So thank you, have a great day, and I'll watch you on the next one. Bye.